जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद अद्वैत गदाधर Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya, Panchatattva Jaya, Panchatattva Jaya, Panchatattva Jaya, Panchatattva Jaya, Panchatattva Jaya, Panchatattva Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Gaura Premanande. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajakacharya Ashtotar Sat His Divine Grace Abhay Charanar Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Madha Radha Madhava Ashta Sakhi Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Panchatattva Ki Jai Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagavan Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. I'm very happy that I have an opportunity to participate in the World Holy Name Festival in this small way by giving a small talk. And I'm sure that it has been a very blissful time for everybody who has participated both in the kirtans as well as in the kathas that have been organized. I'm sure you've heard many wonderful lectures in kirtan so far, and you will hear many more in the future as well. The topic that was given to me to speak on was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's kirtan in Srivas Angan. Angan means the courtyard. So Srivas Thakur, of course, as we all know, is one of the Panchatattva, one of the 5 elements of the absolute truth as described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He is a very important personality in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. He was much older than Mahaprabhu, a father-like figure. He was a grihastha, and at the same time, he was an exalted, pure devotee of the Lord. In the Panchatattva, as Kaviraj Goswami is mentioned, Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam, which means that of the Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has manifested himself in a 5-in-1 form of the Absolute Truth. So the one Absolute Truth, Krishna, has manifested in 5. And of course, the Bhakta Rupa is Mahaprabhu himself. Bhakta Swarupa is Nityananda Prabhu. Bhakta Avatar is Advaita Acharya. Bhakta Shakti is Gadadhar Pandit, Srimati Radharani's form, appearance. And finally, Srivas Thakur is the pure devotee, Bhaktakhyam. And he is actually an incarnation of Narad Muni. So Narad Muni, as we all know, has a very important role to play in Krishna's pastimes in Vraja and also elsewhere. So this is Srivas Thakur, and Narad Muni has now come to participate in Gaur Leela. In the Gaur Ganudesh Deepika, it is mentioned, apart from the fact that Srivas Thakur is Narad Muni, that his brother Ramai Pandit was Parvat Muni in Krishna Leela. And Srivas Pandit's wife, Malini Devi, was actually in Goloka Leela, Ambika, who is Krishna's wet nurse. And in Goloka Leela, Ambika's sister is Kilimbika. Kilimbika is the one who took Krishna's remnants in Goloka Leela, and she has appeared as Narayani, the niece of Srivas Pandit, that is his brother's daughter. And Narayani is the mother of Vrindavan Das Thakur, who is the author of the Chaitanya Bhagavat. So we can understand that both in Krishna Leela and in Gaur Leela, Srivas Pandit or Narad Muni plays a very important role. So we see that when Nimai Pandit appeared in Navadvip, Srivas Thakur was already there. He was an adult by this time. He was a Grihastha. And like Advaita Acharya, he was much older than Mahaprabhu. And when Nimai Pandit began his pastimes as a young boy, he was brilliant in his studies. And he was so brilliant that he could challenge anyone, including the big Pandits of Navadvip, which was at that time a place of learning. So there were many, many big Pandits there. He could challenge any of them and defeat them. And he played the role of an arrogant scholar of grammar and metaphor and so on. So whenever he would meet the devotees, he would challenge them and defeat their arguments. And then he would, having defeated those arguments, reinstate those very arguments and show how they could be defended. So the devotees were struck with wonder to see Gauranga Nimai Pandit's brilliance. However, because Srivas Pandit was much older and he was a great devotee also, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Nimai Pandit didn't quite challenge him like that. Whenever he saw him, he would bow down and offer obeisances to him. One time when they met in the street, Srivas Pandit told him that the purpose of education is to become a devotee of Lord Krishna. If one is simply academically educated and brilliant, but one has no inclination for devotion to Krishna, then what is the use? It is simply a waste of time. Therefore, one must become a devotee of Krishna. So in this way, Srivas Pandit actually admonished Nimai Pandit. Nimai Pandit was happy to be admonished in this way. And he said, you are a great devotee of Krishna. I'm sure that one day, by your mercy, I will also become a devotee of Krishna. So at that time, Nimai had not manifested his devotional pastimes. That transformation happened only after Nimai had gone to Gaya for his father's Shraddha ceremonies. So when he came back, after taking initiation from his spiritual master Ishwar Puri, he was completely transformed. He was singing, chanting the holy names of the Lord. He was absorbed in transcendental devotional ecstasy. And when Sachi Mata saw this behavior, she appreciated the devotional part, but she could not appreciate the extent to which that devotional symptom was manifested in Mahaprabhu's persona. And she became very afraid for his well being. And sometimes, because Nimai Pandit would behave in such extraordinary ways, some people thought that he was mad. And they called some doctors who said there was a vata vikar, or a disturbance of the air in the brain, and so on and so forth. When Srivas Pandit happened to come there and he saw this behavior of Mahaprabhu, he immediately understood that this was not any kind of material ailment, but it was actually transcendental devotional madness. And he told Nimai, I wish I had some of this ailment that you have. So in this way, Srivas Pandit was very, very much appreciative of the transcendental devotional mood that Nimai Pandit exhibited. Nimai Pandit actually started the Sankirtan movement in the house of Srivas Pandit. The atheistic neighbors, who were mostly Brahmins, but still they were atheistic and karmakandi, which means they were fruitive workers. Their recitation of the Vedas and performance of mantras and yajnas were only meant for attaining some materialistic goals. They did not have any devotional sentiment at all. So, because the kirtans would happen in the night, and even when they happened in the day, these people apparently became very disturbed. So much so that they became enraged and started criticizing and even abusing the devotees led by Srivas Thakur. One person said, I could not sleep at night. They have kept me awake. Another person said, all this shouting will disturb the Lord and he will get angry with us and we will all be destroyed. Somebody said that these people simply chant and dance and they avoid all philosophy and acquiring knowledge. Another person, envious person, said, all this mischief is because of that wretched Srivas Thakur, Srivas Pandit. It is because of him that he and all these brothers get together and they chant Krishna, Krishna like madmen. They are going to ruin everything. When the word spreads and the king hears of it, he will send boatloads of soldiers to come and kill Srivas Thakur or perhaps arrest him and his family. And Srivas Thakur will, of course, run away, but we will all be stuck and we will be punished by the king. So another person came and said, well, if that happens, then we will all catch Srivas and hand him over to the king. So in this way, the local people, they conversed with each other and they were not at all happy with all this that was going on in Srivas Thakur's house. Then one time, the soldiers of the king actually came in boats. And when the news reached Srivas Thakur, he became very much fearful, not for himself, but fearful for the other devotees. He did not want any harm to come to any of the devotees. All the other devotees also began to be alarmed. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was known as Vishwambhar or Nimai Pandit, heard this, he said, whatever Lord Krishna happens or wants will happen. And it is for the best. What fear should we have for these wretched people? Now, Srivas Thakur was actually quite a soft-hearted person, and he was feeling very pained about what harm could come to all the Vaishnavas. Anyway, he and the other devotees did not realize that actually the Supreme Lord was in their midst, and he was the one who was leading the kirtan, and that in his presence and by his mercy, no harm could actually come to them. But the Lord had hidden his divinity for the sake of relishing all these wonderful pastimes. Meanwhile, Vishwambhar or Nimai Pandit was roaming all over Navadvip in a very carefree and arrogant manner. His beauty was unmatched, his learning was unmatched, and he would do kirtan with his devotees. And sometimes when he saw the cows on the bank of the Ganga, he got into the mood of Vrindavan and started saying, I am he, meaning that he was Krishna. And in that mood, he stormed into Shiva's Pandit's house and kicked open the door of the puja room where Shiva's Thakur was worshipping Lord Nrsimhadev. And as soon as he went there, he entered the room. He saw Shiva's Thakur was performing puja, and Shiva's Thakur was shocked to suddenly have the door of his puja room open like that. And he looked up and he saw Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit, Vishwambar. And at that time, Vishwambar manifested his four-armed Narayan form, bearing the conch, the disc, the lotus, and the mace. Shiva's Thakur was dumbfounded. He could not say anything. And at that time, the Lord told him, who are you worshipping? And for what? Don't you know that the very person you are worshipping is standing in front of you? And in his presence, what harm can this happen? I have come here because you and Advaita Acharya have petitioned me to come. I have come here to protect the pious and to destroy the miscreants. So there is no need to worry. Simply go on worshipping me. So Shiva's Thakur's eyes were filled with tears, and in his great ecstasy, he stood up and tried to offer many prayers to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Mahaprabhu told him, please call your family members. When Shiva's Thakur had emerged from his ecstatic trance, he called the family members, and Mahaprabhu showered his mercy upon all of them. And then Shiva's Thakur was still looking at the Lord, gazing in great devotion. And Mahaprabhu told him, are you still afraid of the soldiers of the king coming here? Understand that I am the super soul in everybody's heart. Without my permission, the king cannot do any harm to anybody. And even if the king somehow acts independently, then I will go up and tell him not to come. And still, if he comes, I will step into the boat and I will challenge him and tell him, bring all your elephants and horses and bring all your religious people here. And if by the recitation of your religious books, if these elephants and these horses can start dancing in ecstasy, then I will accept you. But that will not be possible. And I will myself make these elephants and horses dance. And then I will make the king and all his soldiers and all the animals dance in ecstasy. So what is there for you to worry? I know that you don't believe me, but what can I do? Just wait and see. Meanwhile, little Narayani, who I mentioned earlier, she was only a small girl at that time. Mahaprabhu touched his hand to her head and said, chant Krishna. And in great ecstasy, that girl began to chant, and tears flowed from her eyes. The symptoms of ecstasy also manifested in her person. So smiling, then the Lord asked Srivas, are you now convinced that there is absolutely no danger to all the devotees? In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu protected the devotees who were participating in the kirtan in Srivasa's house. So as time went on, of course, many other pastimes happened. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur in the Chaitanya Bhagavat has described or mentioned the occasion when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually inaugurated the Sankirtan in the house of Srivas Thakur. And he says, Shri Vasare Prabhu Kirtana Vidhana Nitya Arambhila Prabhu Jagatera Prana Punyavanta Srivasangane Shubharambha Uthila Kirtane Dhvani Gopala Govinda. So he said, Shri Vasare Prabhu Kirtana Vidhana. Shri Vasara or Hari Vasara, Vasara means a day. Shri here refers to the Lord. So Hari Vasara or Shri Vasara refers to the day of Ekadashi. So Prabhu Kirtana Vidhana. Vidhan means a rule. So there is a rule in the scriptures that on every Ekadashi, one should have Harinam Sankirtan. So therefore, on that particular day, one Ekadashi, Nritya Arambhila Prabhu Jagatera Prana, that Prabhu, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the life of the entire world, he began his dancing and singing. And where did he begin that? Punyavanta Srivas Angane Shubharambha. So the Shubharambha, or the auspicious beginning of that, happened in the Angan, or the courtyard or the house of Srivas, who was Punyavanta, the greatly pious Srivas. So this is where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began his Sankirtan movement, his chanting and dancing. And how did they do Sankirtan? Uthila Kirtana Dhvani Gopala Govinda. So they were chanting the holy names of Govinda and Gopal. So in this way, the Kirtan used to go on. The doors used to be closed by the Lord's order, because the Lord did not want any atheistic person or a faithless person to come into the Kirtan. He only wanted the totally devoted, surrendered, and faithful souls to participate in this special form of Kirtan. When Mahaprabhu would go out into the streets, naturally everybody would participate. And many others, even if they didn't participate, would freely witness these pastimes. But for these nocturnal Kirtan pastimes in Srivas Thakur's home, it was a very private affair, meant only for the confidential devotees. So anyway, the Kirtan went on. Mahaprabhu was very clear that nobody who's unauthorized should come in. One time during the Kirtan, Mahaprabhu took all the Shaligram Shilas that were there in Srivas Thakur's puja room. Okay, it says 30 minutes gone, 50 minutes remaining, okay. So he took the Shaligram Shilas and he placed them on his lap, and he went and sat on the altar of the Lord, and he revealed his divine form. On another occasion, he performed what is famously known amongst the devotee community as the Mahaprakash Leela, where he exhibited his divine form so that everybody could see him, and all the devotees approached him, and he fulfilled all their desires. It went on for 21 continuous hours. So therefore it is called the Sat Prahariya Leela or Sat Prahariya Bhava. That bhava or mood he maintained for 21 hours. Prahar is 3 hours. Sat refers to 7. So 7 times 3, 21. So in this way, Srivas Thakur's house was fortunate enough to witness all these wonderful pastimes. So afterwards, as the pastimes went on, one day, Srivas Thakur's mother came in secretly into the place where the kirtan was being held, and she hid herself somewhere. And Mahaprabhu was dancing, and he said, I don't feel the joy of dancing as I used to every day. Something is wrong. Maybe some unauthorized person has entered here. So Srivas Thakur became very afraid, and he started looking here and there, and finally he found his mother-in-law who was hiding. And he, in great anger, he took her outside, and so Mahaprabhu was actually so strict. He didn't want any unauthorized person coming in. On another occasion, Srivas Thakur had personally let inside one devotee, or not a devotee, actually, he was favorable, yes, but he was a brahmachari, and he drank only milk. He didn't eat any solid food like grains or fruits or anything. He only had milk, and he was very austere. So somehow or the other, because this person had petitioned Srivas Thakur, who was very kind, he allowed him inside, and he was hiding in one place and watching and hearing these kirtans. Mahaprabhu again said, there is something wrong. I do not know, why I'm not feeling that happiness again. So then the devotee started searching And Srivas Thakur actually himself confessed. He said, actually, my lord, I have invited this young brahmachari because he is very austere and he drinks only milk. And Mahaprabhu admonished him and said that actually one cannot obtain devotion to Krishna only by drinking milk. Devotion to Krishna is obtained by surrendering to him and by chanting his names, not simply by drinking milk and performing some austerities. So, as the young brahmachari was being escorted out, he begged that he should at least have one sidelong glance of Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu became merciful and he placed his lotus feet on the brahmachari's head. And he said, okay, henceforth, you don't become proud and try to display all your austerity and try to show people how austere you are and how renounced you are. On another occasion, one of the neighbors who was against Srivas Thakur very much, his name was Gopal Chapal, he was a Brahmana, he decided to defame Srivas Thakur. So he placed the paraphernalia for the worship of goddess Kali outside the door of Srivas Thakur. So he placed the red hibiscus flower, red sandalwood, liquor, meat, and so on. When Srivas Thakur opened the doors of his house early in the morning and he saw all these items there, he laughed aloud and then he declared to all the neighbors, just see how I'm worshipping goddess Kali. And the pious-minded neighbors in the neighbors, they came forward and quickly cleaned up everything and they washed the whole place with cow dung. Meanwhile, because Gopal Chapal had committed such a big offense against Srivas Thakur, he was inflicted with very severe leprosy. And when that happened, he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to beg forgiveness. And Mahaprabhu told him, I cannot forgive you. On the contrary, I say that you will go to the hell called Raurava for millions of lives. And may the worms also eat your body there because you have offended a great devotee. And Mahaprabhu left. Gopal Chapal continued to suffer. Some time passed. Mahaprabhu had taken sannyas. And then one time he had come back and he was visiting Koladweep, that is today Navadweep town. And he had gone there. And at that place, he met Gopal Chapal came to meet him. And that is known as Aparadha Bhanjana Sthan, because offenses get forgiven at that place. So there are other pastimes related to that place, which we don't have time to talk today. So once again, when he met Mahaprabhu and begged forgiveness, Mahaprabhu said, the only person who can forgive you is Srivas Thakur. And then Gopal Chapal approached Srivas Thakur, and then Srivas Thakur happily forgave him, and Gopal Chapal once again could lead a normal life. He became a devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, the famous pastime of the Qazi, the Muslim cleric who was in charge of that region on behalf of the Muslim Nawab, is well known to everybody. One time the Chand Qazi was passing by Srivas Thakur's house and he heard the sound of the kirtan. In great anger, he went inside and he broke the mridanga and had a few of the devotees assaulted and threatened them that if this happens another time, there will be much more damage that will be done. And he left. Meanwhile, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received word of the incident and he took it very seriously. He gathered thousands and thousands of devotees and there was a torchlit march all the way to the Qazi's house. The Qazi was cowering in fear seeing the huge crowd. And then there happened a very wonderful dialogue between Mahaprabhu and Chand Qazi. And the Chand Qazi became a devotee. So that wonderful transformation is also connected to Srivas Thakur's, the kirtan that happened in Srivas Thakur's house. Another small pastime that happened there was that there was a girl called Dukhi. Now, Dukhi was a young girl who used to do the service of bringing water from the Ganga in pots so that Mahaprabhu could take his bath. because after the devotees led by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would do kirtan in the house of Srivas Thakur all night, they would go to the Ganga to take bath early in the morning. And sometimes the bath water would be collected. So one of Srivas Thakur's servant girls, Dukhi, used to come in and deliver the water as well. She would watch sometimes Mahaprabhu's ecstatic dancing with tears in her eyes. So one day Mahaprabhu observed her devotion and was very pleased with her. And so he changed her name from Dukhi to Sukhi. Dukhi means one who is sad, and Sukhi means one who is very happy. So from that day on, this girl's life was filled with transcendental ecstasy. On another occasion, something very extraordinary happened. Srivas Thakur's only son, and he was in the inner chambers, he was not part of the Sankirtan. He left his body. He passed away. And the ladies in the house and the other relatives began to wail in great sorrow. Srivas Thakur rushed inside to see what the commotion was about. And when he heard the news, he immediately began to scold his family members and said that, do not cry like this, do not lament. Here we have Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Lord, who is here, who is dancing and doing kirtan in our own house. And all this loud wailing and sobbing is going to disturb the kirtan. So after that rebuke, somehow the family members kept quiet. But Srivas Thakur quietly came back and continued to participate in the kirtan. The night passed, and early in the morning or towards the end of the night, Mahaprabhu said, something is bothering me. Some tragedy has happened in Srivas Thakur's house. Is that so? So then the devotees informed him that Srivas Thakur's son had died. And then Mahaprabhu said, why wasn't I informed about this incident? So Srivas Thakur came forward and said, my dear Lord, I did not want to disturb the kirtan that was going on. And I did not want to disturb your mood. So Mahaprabhu was stunned. He said, how could I ever abandon devotees who love me to this extent? And Mahaprabhu actually started crying, tears of ecstasy and gratitude. And then what did he do? He went inside the house and he sat down beside the child's body and brought him back to consciousness. And he said, my dear child, why do you want to leave the house of such a great devotee as Srivas? So the child actually, who had been brought back to consciousness, sat up and started speaking. Now we have heard similar incidents in the Srimad Bhagavatam with Chitraketu's son and so on. There are such incidents that have happened. So the child said, the few days that I was destined to spend by my karma in Srivas Thakur's house are over, and now I have to go. So by following your wishes, I am required to be elsewhere. So I am a living being without any independence. So please shower your mercy on me so that I may follow your instructions and please you. So when the family members saw this most astonishing incident, they immediately gave up their sorrow and began to worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know, when a small child, especially one who has been brought back to life, speaks such philosophy, immediately everyone is very shaken up and they then come to spiritual consciousness. So all this, the family members of Srivas Thakur, they forgot their distress and they began to worship Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Srivas Thakur, from today onwards, myself and Nityananda will be your sons. So you will not feel the lack of your child. Consider me and Nityananda as your children now, as your sons. In this way, Mahaprabhu showered his mercy upon Srivas Thakur. In this way, Srivas Angan, and I'm sure many of you have been to the place whenever you visit Mayapur. This is a compulsory place to visit for all devotees. I'm sure you've all visited that Shiva's Angan, where Mahaprabhu used to perform the pastimes of Sankirtan in the house of Shiva's Thakur with all the confidential devotees. So we have now come to the end of our time. So let us all glorify Shiva's Thakur by saying Shiva's Thakur ki jai, Shri Panchatattva ki jai, Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Bol.